Welcome back again, everyone, to the Word Traction Network daily podcast. This is Wisconsin Dems didn't lose, they learned. Francesca Hahn. It was a fun story. She's an intriguing young leader, and she's embarrassingly young and will live to fight another day. We can't have wins every single contest. We can try, but in the words of another great leader. Oh, let's see. That was I was going to say Mayor Mamdani. We'll get back to Mayor Mamdani. Francesca polls breaking news. The polls fucking suck in Michigan, in Wisconsin, and elsewhere. There's some serious problems with the methodology not keeping up with the tech and the times, and people. What groups of people are more likely to tell you what they're actually thinking? It seems like everybody's running their fucking mouth, but are they going to tell you the truth? Is MAGA more likely to, because they're empowered in the era of Donald J. Trump, the highly questionable game show host, who is their fearless cult leader, are MAGA types empowered and say, well, first of all, we're proud to support Trump. And if we say something other than we're supporting him completely, then the pizzas are going to start coming. That's certainly true for the cowards, the Republican members of the Senate and the House. Cowardice is the word of the year for Republicans in those formerly august bodies of U.S. Governance. It's pretty depressing. So Nelson Mandela, great leader, one of the greatest human beings to ever walk this here earth. Nelson Mandela said, I don't lose. I either win or I learn. So Francesca Hahn lost, some will say, to David Crowley. Now, this impressive young leader from greater Milwaukee, when he last stood for election as the chief poobah of metropolitan Milwaukee, I think he hit about an 85% number on his election. He is, by the numbers, by some metrics, perhaps the most successful African American candidate in Wisconsin electoral history, by the numbers. So we've got a lot to be proud of. He's a centrist. He is not a member of DSA or WSA or NESA, but he's a solid, moderate Democratic Party member that, I don't know, is supported by the people that he leads. That's enough. Not everything has to be a statement on the future of progressive politics in every county across America. And things have been going pretty well. We're still living in the glow of Mamdani, we're not a year into it, and he's just racking up one success after another. It's one city. Yeah, the Richie Riches sued Mamdani to try to take a whack at the pied-à-terre tax, the rich fucks tax, as it's called colloquially in New York City. And so Bill Ackman and his ilk are all colors of aggrieved at the temerity of a young leader like Mamdani asking people to pay their fair share. Unfucking believable that he has the gall, the nerve, the chutzpah, shout out to our Jewish brothers and sisters, to expect rich New Yorkers, and many of these people just fly by night New York visitors that ever decided to invest in New York real estate and have a nice place to lay down their head after a long night of boozing and raving or whatever they do in New York. Or, Epstein's not around, but there are people in the same line of work. Whatever they do in New York is their business until we catch them on camera. It's a great, would Daria Lisa Chevalier have performed better than Francesca did in Wisconsin? No, no. There are certain districts and jurisdictions, states, counties, countries where the DSA more progressive movement will have traction. If you listen to Chuck Schumer or some unbalanced raging Cajun, then you're going to hear a much different story. But they've already shown themselves to be well past their prime, and they have delegitimized themselves in their behavior, not listening to what the party wants, but fighting only for their own power and influence. That's all they care about. And if Chuck Schumer, now, hopefully I'm not breaking this news. Chuck Schumer is a Jewish gentleman. Does Chuck Schumer receive money from AIPAC? Yeah. I I've never bothered to look at the dollar amount of it because it's not material to our overall national discussion. Chuck Schumer is a proud, accomplished, brilliant man who also happens to be Jewish and a proud New Yorker. He's led New York, and you could say the Senate, over a period of years in ways that are admirable from a straight democratic politics point of view. It's not enough anymore. It's we're going in a different direction. Would it have been nice if Francesca had crossed the finish line ahead of Mr. Crowley? Maybe, but you could, in the alternative, you could argue she lost by less than a half of a percentage point. And I think on a net vote basis, she lost by 3,000 votes. Okay. How about, let's say this: outstanding fucking performance. Great job. Great message. Turkey, Thanksgiving, leftovers, second helpings, all of that bullshit matters not at all. She doesn't lose. In this case, she learned. And we can also learn what I'm waiting for is like many commentators on this here platform who are better looking than I am even have observed that the Schumers and the sort of trad Democrat part of the party wanted to have one of the DSA candidates lose so they can point fingers and feel superior. You see, if you if you had fucking listened to us, like we told you, listen to us. We know best. We know what's best for you, your family, and your wife or partner's reproductive health. We know all these things better. We know more, right? So the traditional Democratic Party, the Schumer wing of the party, right? Yeah. Mm, fuck off, right? Just do your own thing. By not prevailing last night, Ms. Hong covered herself in glory, worked her ass off, stood by her values, her core values. Will she run again for governor, or will she run for another statewide office? I hope she does. She's a young person. She F&B background, opened a restaurant. She's a restaurant worker now. She is I don't recall, but maybe she's 5 years older than Connie. She has a child that's, I think she has a son that's about 10 or 11. All, high five, celebrate, party into the next weekend. And then you're, shopping for back to school and you're, what are you doing? Age 10, what are you doing? You're in grade 4 or 5, something like that. It's a wonderful time. So we salute you. We salute your the fact that you held on to the values that brought you to begin this campaign in the first place. You explained, as AOC did, who was she talking to? It wasn't, I don't know who AOC was talking to in the last few days, talking about how her views evolve over time. If we don't change as humans, then what are we? And of course, you know, AOC as an example, what has she done this with freezing her eggs? Like that's any of my fucking business. I mean, cheers. God bless, happy, healthy, whenever it's convenient for you. Period. The right wing lunatics, like, well, she should. Damn, she's been dating this guy since she first went. I assume I'm just taking the word of some redheaded idiot talking on probably on Fox. Well, she dated the same guy since she joined the Congress now 8 whatever years ago. She should have been married and having her own kids, and you don't need to freeze eggs that way. And why didn't she marry him? It's the American way. Right? Look what it's done for you. You're wearing a red fucking polyester hat. So congratulations. Yeah. So to be honest, have I followed, have I followed meticulously the political career of David Crowley, the soon to be former, uh, boss and grand poobah of Greater Milwaukee? No, I haven't. But he has outperformed at every stage from a poll perspective. And the people in his city, the people that he's charged with leading and helping, love him. So let's count that as a victory, right? If the downside to a loss in any contest, and I'm sorry, excuse me, you could also make a very reasonable argument that as a general election candidate, I think one number I saw right after the results were announced, or first thing this dark 100 this morning, were that Mr. Crowley was up 4 or 5 points in a quick ass straw poll against Mr. Tiffany, who is Trumpy. Doesn't deserve to be there. Let's just get our dollars, our thoughts, our prayers, and our rhetoric behind uh, uh, David, and fight it out for him. Now, it's if we were going to lose a race, and if you are a DSA aligned uh, human, it would be easy to make the argument that this is the one you wanted to lose. It is, yes, the individual that's the governor of an important swing state like Wisconsin is important. But I would argue on the focus, what really got us to where we are right now, we need to have a decisive or convincing. I'm kind of dialing that back with all of the, Gary not gerrymandering and all of the horrible racist Jim Crow laws that are being imposed on people of color all over our country. That what, 6 months ago, Trump failing then too, should have been a blue wave landslide. But with all of the shenanigans and illegal stuff that's going on, and the one story that is probably not talked about enough by mainstream media is the number of lower level voting function individuals that have been put into place in every state across the country, but that the Republican Party, the MAGA wing of the Republican Party, have worked very hard to install as the third elected member of the, pick a state, North Carolina voting tabulation committee. They've got a lot of election deniers in place. It sounds like a replay of a bad Arizona nightmare, but these people are there. And if we project, going back 2 years in the less than 2 years in the rear view, that we had people that stood up on the local level when ballots were being counted, and the fights over it's a mail-in ballot, so it's fake news. It arrived late. It was mailed late. It's not postmarked. It's not signed. You didn't put any blood on the back of the envelope, and all of the things that are going to be that Trump is going to be lying about when we come to the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November. That we're going to need a whole bunch of election observers and more lawyers than you can shake a stick at. And that is not free. And that, for Donald Trump, it is. He gets free legal as long as he's president. And his free legal leader, Todd Blanche, as you've probably heard, delivered, within hours after being sworn in as Attorney General, delivered a 20-page document essentially asserting that privileged communications, Donald Trump, when he talks to his caddy, when he talks to his butler that cleans the special sauce off of the wall, that these people, if they are called to testify, can claim some level of immunity because Donald Trump's immunity carries over into other people that he deems special advisors, like a butler or a pool cleaner or a golf caddy. The law doesn't support it, but that doesn't mean it doesn't slow things down and make them more expensive for people that are trying to litigate that issue. And it allows Trump to do his favorite thing, as E. Jean Carroll has learned. The delay is a victory in and of itself, especially for somebody who's well over 80 years old. You can delay to the point where it certainly becomes a moot point. Because although we haven't often prosecuted past presidents for crimes committed while in office, and John Roberts has pretty much rubbed that out, I'm pretty sure that we've never prosecuted the corpse of a former president, wherever he is located, whether it's buried next to his true love in Bedminster or elsewhere. Yeah, so let's celebrate David Crowley. Let's congratulate Francesca Hahn. Let's treat it for what it is, which is for her personally and for her team, getting within 3,000, whatever that number was, getting in within the margin of error in the vote is a tremendous accomplice. Excuse me, is a wonderful accomplishment. So let's support her. Let us keep supporting our progressive brothers and sisters because they're doing the hard work. Is it, you say, well, it all comes down to electability. That's what we need to focus on as a party right now. No, that is untrue. Because what we've been doing, if you ask quite reasonably, what has the Democratic Party done to fully come to terms with their failure in the last general election cycle? Now, our dear leader, Joe Biden, health, Kamala Harris late, less than 100 days, all that, we know all that stuff. That was not ideal. But there are, at the Republican, the DNC, or the Democratic Party level, has been a string of failures at not confronting Trump and his corruption. So if these young voices that are a little bit to the left of you and I, even perhaps, although I'm diving further to the left every single day I hear Donald Trump say any fucking thing. Let's give grace where due, but support the future of our party. And I know it not at the expense of getting Trump out, not at the expense of holding him accountable. But anytime you are encountered by a Trump-ish MAGA type person, said, yeah, well, did that Francesca, she was advocating for burning down all of the prisons across the country with the prisoners still in. The kind of shit that MAGA people come up with. Fox News. Well, she wanted to poison every person that retired or active duty police officer. Just the silly shit that we're going to have to endure. You can say, quite simply, that your president, your candidate, the party, the MAGA Trump party, is led by someone who was found legally to be a rapist. End of discussion. Yeah, but Biden, but Fauci, but Comey. No, no. Trump's not on the ballot. That's not fair. Yeah. Well, he just said yesterday that he's likely to run again in 28. So is the current serving president the fascist responsible for the deaths of thousands of Americans in the military, two particularly beautiful young ones in Minneapolis, and is now responsible through USAID cuts for the deaths of hundreds of thousands of people across the world, and by the end of this term, will be responsible for the deaths, conservative estimates, 7 or 8 million people. And that's assuming that we don't get got by the killer lettuce. Thank you, RFK Jr. You know, and we've got Sally Manelli is back in theaters, and guac and maybe chips too. Not those chips are going to kill us every single day. So anytime one of the guy down the street that takes out his trash and is got Trump merch, love your neighbor. But anytime somebody tries to make a false equivalence, they're communists. They're communists. Ask them first to define communism, define socialism. Talk to them a little bit about Intel and a whole bunch of big compute companies that Trump is also invested in, and remind them that a court of competent jurisdiction and stamped by the Supreme Court when, effectively, when they said, we can't fuck with this $5 million verdict. That's part one. The larger verdict is coming behind it for E. Jean Carroll, and I'm sure that Trump is going to try to piss on this as best he can. But I just got attacked by a bee. How about that? Almost saw murder on the feed. That Trump has been found and will be determined again because of the new, Ellie Leonard, absolute champion. If you don't follow her, everybody does. Everybody who's alive follows ELLIE Leonard on this on Substack. What she reported a couple days ago was, the fact that Epstein, who Trump had separated him, from his cohort, his family, himself, years before, that Epstein was camping out in Trump Towers as Trump was having people in right after his election victory in 1.0. It was known. But it's nice to get a little meat on the bones, because even the deniers, those that were screaming about Epstein when they thought it was a woke, liberal, progressive QAnon conspiracy, then learned that the conspirator in chief was in fact Donald Trump. It was Donald Trump all along, and Todd Blanche featured more prominently. Bill Cassidy, so thank you for that. That now they are, that's bygones be bygones, right? That's MAGA's posture on that, because they got nowhere else to go. They're hostages too, and hostages and cult members. So they have a hard time talking their way back out of the shit that they stepped into. But, yeah. So that'll be it for today. High fives and palms up and handshakes and hugs if invited and appropriate. For and if she wasn't, 50 years younger than for Francesca Hong. Congratulations, of course, on the man that earned an additional 3,000 votes than she did, which is David Crowell. Let's say fight on fiercely. Uh, and again, a man who has achieved so much already in his young political career. Let's embrace him. Let's try to drag him a little bit to the left. See if we can do that. But he's doing a great job. The people that his voters love him in record numbers. So let's leave well enough alone. Let's go off and fight the dragons that are uh, APEC and the other things that are working against the grain. And we'll see what we can do. Thank you. Do all the restack, retweet, subscribe. And it's getting kind of bright. So I'm going to do a funny left right thing. And thank you.